So actually, I had worked for the JPO more than 10 years, and from 2005 to 2007, I used to be a trilateral coordinator in the International Affairs Division of the JPO. And during my assignment as a trilateral coordinator, USPTO and JPO made the first PPH agreement in 2005, which was the starting point of the PPH history. And Mr. Charles Eloshway has been a great partner on the PPH. And after that, PPH became more popular all over the world, and especially in Europe. There are now 13 participating offices. So I could not imagine this kind of like a huge expansion of the PPH when we started pilot projects with USPTO, but I am very happy to speak about PPH today here in Spain. So my presentation today is consisted of two parts. In the first part, I would like to explain about the recent developments of JPO very briefly, and later I will speak about the PPH. So let me start my presentation with a short introduction of my organization, JETRO. So JETRO is a governmental organization established in 1958, and its main aim is to promote mutual trade and investment between Japan and foreign countries. And JETRO has more than 1,500 employees and more than 100 offices all over the world. And in Europe, there are 17 offices, including Madrid. JPO has dispatched representatives to 5 offices, like Düsseldorf, New York, Beijing, Seoul, and Bangkok. The JETRO Düsseldorf has a role of JPO liaison office in Europe since 1974. So now I would like to show you the current status of patent activities in JPO. In this chapter, I would like to show you some statistical data to understand the recent trend of patent filings in Japan. I think these statistical data can be useful when you consider the possibilities to use PPH. So this graph shows the number of national patent applications in Japan. In 2010, there was a slight decrease from the previous year. The recent economic recession is considered to be one possible factor behind the decrease, but another possible factor is that more applicants are changing their IP strategy from a large volume of patents to acquiring high-quality patents. So in this slide, a number of PCT applications are shown. So the number of PCT applications from Japan was about 32,000 in 2010. This is an increase of 7.9% compared to the previous year. So this reflects the IP strategies of Japanese entities, that their activities become more global and that the importance of international protection of IP rights become more recognized. So you can see the trend of examination pendency in this slide. In 2010, the number of first action of examinations continued to outnumber the request for examination. As you can guess, this graph means that we have been very successful for reducing the backlogs in 2009 and 2010. So this slide shows the applications awaiting the first action, which means backlogs in yellow columns, and first action pendency, which means the average waiting period from the time of request for examination to the first communication from the examiner in red lines. At the end of year of 2010, around 573,000 cases were pending, which is a 20% decrease compared to the previous year. With the decrease of backlogs, the first action pendency has started to decrease in 2010, although currently it takes nearly 13 months still. So to achieve the long-term goal of the intellectual property promotion plan, which was set up in 2004 by the Prime Minister, that FA pendency has to be shortened to 11 months. the end of 2013. So JPO will continue to make all efforts. So by the way, with the request for PPH or accelerated examination, the FA pendency can be reduced. I will explain how much time of FA pendency is reduced by PPH later. So the basic advantage of PPH is to accelerate the examination process in foreign countries from the user's perspective. On the other hand, it is very beneficial for offices to utilize the examination results of foreign countries. Although PPH is not an automatic recognition, we recognize that the quality of patent examination is very important for the international cooperation of patent examination. In that sense, JPO continue to make efforts to build a more reliable relationship with PPH partners. So let me explain about the JPO measures towards the higher quality. So I hope the comparison between EPO and JPO enables you to understand the patent examination process in JPO. So one of the major differences from EPO is that JPO has 3 years period of the request for examination, and it is sometimes called deferred examination officially. So due to uncertainty of high volume and long period of unexamined patent applications, the term was shortened from 7 years to 3 years in 2001. However, most of applicants still want to get the examination results at the later stage because it usually takes 5 or 10 years to commercialize the invention and put the product on the market. So this 3 years term for careful selection of patent applications by applicants may be one of the factors to increase the patent quality. So on the other hand, of course, if it is urgent, so PPH is available after the request for examination. So the JPO has engaged in maintaining its quality management system for the patent applications by establishing the Quality Management Office and the Quality Management Committee in April 2007. So towards the higher quality of the examination, there are 4 main items to be requested on examination. First one is compliance with legislations and guidelines. Second, unified judgments without variability between examiners. Third, necessary and sufficient searches. Fourth, high degree of satisfaction based on the communication with applicants. And for the purpose of quality management, JPO would like to encourage you to submit feedbacks on individual applications where the quality of examination is not considered satisfactory. However, please notice that because JPO does not receive feedbacks directly from overseas, so you can kindly expect it to submit feedbacks through your branch offices in Japan or patent agencies in Japan. So also, JPO has very effective search tools, namely FI and FTERM. So this table compares the IPC, FI, and FTERM classification systems. The number of FTERM items is approximately 340,000, which is the largest. So we can say FTERM is the most advanced search tools all over the world. So FI is an extension to the IPC and it has a similar structure to the EQUA. So although FI has a single viewpoint, FTERM has a multiple viewpoints. So that is the main advantage of FTERM. And I think this illustration helps you to understand the FTERM very easily. So with FTERM, we can specify the limit, the technical area we are looking for more precisely from different directions. So in my opinion, so FTERM is one of the reasons why the productivity of JPO examiners is the highest in the world. So I am sure that FTERM improves the search efficiency to a large extent. So this is last slide of my first part of presentation. So let's move on to the PPH presentation. Which one? Okay. First of all, let me explain the background of holding the PPH user seminar today. So the PPH network has been expanding since the first PPH program between JPO and USPTO, which has started in 2006, and now there are 23 offices participating in this program. So as we have been constructing the basis of the usage of the PPH scheme, now one of our aim is how we can make the users more familiar with this program. So we are very glad to join the seminar with Spanish Patent Office, USPTO, and Portuguese Patent Office, and to have a chance to meet users like you, so face to face. So secondly, let me explain about the current situation of the PPH program. So this slide shows like a general idea of the PPH, but this concept was already explained by this other speaker. So then I would like to skip this slide. So this table shows the number of PPH requests between offices as of the end of this June. So the yellow column on the left, OEE, means Office of Area Examination, and the green column, OLE, means Office of Later Examination. The total number of requests for PPH has already exceeded 10,000 applications, and it is increasing rapidly. So as you can see, about 5,000 requests were made from Japan, and about 3,500 requests were made from United States. But unfortunately, on the other hand, not so many requests for PPH were made from European countries. So I hope there are getting more applications from the European countries. So this table shows the number of PCT PPH requests between offices as of the end of this June. So the total number of requests for PCT PPH has already exceeded 2,000 applications. So next, I would like to show you the three main advantages for the applicants using PPH. The first one is speed. In other words, timely patent acquisition. As you can see on this slide, in case of applicant requests PPH, the average pendency from the request to FA greatly decreases. So for example, FA pendency for normal PPH is only 1.7 months, although the normal applications you have to wait 27 months. So as you can see on the right, the average pendency from the request to a final decision also decreases in the case of PPH from 33 months to 7.4 months. So the second advantage for the applicants is improvement of quality of the patent. So these are the comparison of average first action, allowance rate, and grant rate between the JP applications claiming priority to US applications and JP applications under JP US PPH. So as you can see, both the average first action allowance rate and grant rate for the PPH applications considerably increase from, for example, first action allowance rate from 2.8% to 13.7%. So the third one is a cost effectiveness. As a result of reducing office actions, an applicant can have a merit concerning reducing the cost for making requests or amendments. So my final topic will be a PPH multi-line model, and which has commenced this July by 8 offices from Spain, Japan, US, Canada, Australia, Finland, Russia. So we do not think there is a appropriate translation which exactly means mottainai in English. But if I interpret mottainai into English, it means a sense of regret concerning waste when the intrinsic value of an object or resources is not properly utilized. As you can probably know, the lady from the Kenya, Ms. Wangari Maathai, is inspired with the word mottainai. And she is well known as the first person to receive the Nobel Prize in the field of environment. She explained the importance of feeling mottainai, and mottainai became a common word in the world, I think. So unfortunately, she passed away on September 25th this year at the age of 71. So I'd like to back to the topic of the PPH mottainai. So although the number of requests for PPH has been increasing, it is still low compared to the total number of patent applications being filed in the world. To make the PPH program more user-friendly and available for patent applicants, the PPH mottainai pilot has launched on 15th of July 2011. So 8 offices in this slide has adopted this pilot project and is the requirements for requesting PPH. More in detail, in the PPH scheme, the Office of First Filing, OFF, has to provide the examination results before any of the other offices accept PPH requests. This requirement puts a restriction on making PPH requests and prevents subsequent offices from fully utilizing the result of the examination conducted in other offices, due to the fact that the OFF does not always conduct the examination before the OSFs do theirs. So in Japanese, the situation can be described as mottainai or waste. So because of this, we have adopted the PPH mottainai pilot program, and under this program, PPH request has been eligible whether or not the offices which provides the examination results is the OFF. So first of all, let us see a general case. So as shown in this chart, whether you choose first file principle or a normal PPH or PPH mottainai model, in either case, examination results of OFF might be utilized. So let me show you another case. As shown in this slide, under the first file principle, normal PPH, an applicant cannot file a request for PPH by utilizing examination results produced by B office, which is not the office of first filing. So in the meantime, under the PPH mottainai model, an applicant can file a request for PPH by utilizing examination results produced by offices other than OFF. Therefore, even in case shown in this chart, an applicant can file a request for PPH by utilizing examination results produced by B office. So in a case shown in this diagram, so under the normal PPH, since A office is not an OFF, so an applicant cannot file a request for PPH by utilizing examination results produced by A office. But in the meantime, so under the PPH mottainai model, applicant can file a request for PPH by utilizing examination results produced by office of other than OFF. So therefore, even in the case shown in this diagram, so applicant can file a request for PPH with B offices by utilizing examination results produced by A office. So the JPO is promoting that along with an introduction of PPH multi-line model, the terminology should be changed. For example, Office of First Filing and Office of Second Filings that have been used under First File principle should be changed. So this is because under the multi-line model, the order of examination is more important than that of filing with an office. So for example, B office is Office of Area Examination, OEE, in relation to C office. And C office is Office of Later Examination, OLE, in relation to B office. And Office of Area Examination, OEE, in relation to D office. D office is Office of Later Examination, OLE, in relation to C office. So this is a summary table of the cases that have been introduced in my presentation. But let me add some examples for the Spanish industries. For example, I think Spanish industry usually first file in Spain. And but even though you cannot get first examination results from the Spanish Patent Office, maybe you file in Finland, in Japan, and you can get examination results from the Finland. Then you can use the PPH request using the PPA to Japan Patent Office using the examination results of the Finland. Or otherwise, if you can get examination results first in Japan, then you can make a request for PPH in Spain using the product of the examination results in Japan. So this chart shows the updated PPH network. So SIPO, the Chinese patent office, has newly entered to the PPH network on 1st of November this year. So the JPO is the first office to start PPH with SIPO. So as I mentioned, among 23 offices that are offering PPH services, 13 offices are from Europe. So as you can imagine, the PPH network keeps expanding. So for your information, in October of this year, the fourth PPH working level meeting was held at Munich. So the topics which are discussed are, we agreed that the relaxation of the priority requirement via the multi-line concept seemed a promising step to the right direction, and expressed the wish that more offices soon join the PPH multi-line pilot. We also discussed future developments of the framework, also with a view to streamlining and harmonizing the existing PPH arrangements. And third, we agreed to establish a PPH policy which is a common recognition of PPH. So now we are coming to an end of my presentation. For more details information, so please see these websites for JPO and the USPTO. And also, since the JPO is the initiator of the PPH, the JPO collects statistical data from all participating offices of PPH and published it on the PPH portal website. So the data shown in my presentation is published on this website. Okay, so thank you very much for the presentation today.
Thank you very much for the presentation. And to sum up or to conclude a little bit the presentation, you see that there are a lot of different strategies that the Spanish applicant could follow to internationalize their patents outside abroad. So it is very challenging, and it opens a lot of opportunities. So before the wine that I see you a little bit nervous to go some questions that you could probably have in mind. Yes.
Well, I would like to ask a question to Mr. When we file a PCT application here in Europe, Yes, but it may not apply necessarily in that situation. Under the AIA, there is a new provision that allows for the assignee to file the application. But you have to read the provisions because I think it doesn't apply in the situation automatically. I think that there are circumstances that have to be met first before that happens. So I don't think it's necessarily the same thing as the way that it works in Europe, but I leave that to you to read about a little bit more.
Bueno, ha habido una muy recientemente y la verdad es que tenemos al jefe de área responsable aquí, que es Leopoldo Belda. Él puede añadir más, pero el tiempo ha sido muy rápido. Yo creo que quizás, Leopoldo, si puedes explicar un poco... Las conclusiones generales que nos ha transmitido Leopoldo es que ha sido útil, o sea, el ejercicio ha sido útil, es una coreana, proviene de Corea y realmente se ha hecho muy rápidamente y además ha sido la información que provenía del informe coreano ha sido útil y ha podido ser utilizada. Entonces, bueno, nosotros estamos muy comprometidos con el PPH y como veis se abren posibilidades de reaprovechar todo lo existente, incluso dentro de una solicitud nacional que haya podido ir fuera, por ejemplo a Portugal, se haga el informe a los 5 meses y medio y nos vuelva de Portugal ya realizado el informe, pues nosotros felicísimos de tener el trabajo ya prácticamente realizado. Sí.
Yeah, one of the main difficulties that we're going to have in the immediate term is that we're going to have